Dick Choron, solid job, 7-9 last year. Best start in 16 years for Buffalo, winning their first 4. And Stephen Gostkowski gets it deep with that wind at his back. And Leotis McKelvin, the #1 draft pick rookie from Troy, takes a knee. And here come the Buffalo Bills. New England, by the way, won the toss and deferred for the second half. Second-year quarterback from Stanford, Trent Edwards, has been mighty accurate. He's completed at least 60% of his passes in each of the Bills' 8 games. A change in the offensive line at center. Duke Preston moves ahead of Melvin Fowler today. And Buffalo's big play receiver is Lee Evans. He's averaging almost 20 yards a catch. Evans, number 83. Keep your eye on him. From the 20, young Edwards, who is just riding the bench. Young player, rookie last year when J.P. Lossman was injured in this game. And that was the start of his professional career, and he gives it to Lynch. And Marshawn Lynch, good yardage on first down. The defense for the Patriots, a base 3-4, changes quickly to 4-3. What doesn't change is 325-pound Pro Bowl nose tackle Vince Wilfork. At linebacker, New England's leading tacklers, their #1 draft pick from Tennessee, Gerard Mayo. And with Rodney Harrison on IR, young Brandon Merriweather's importance increases. Merriweather leads with 3 interceptions this year. Second and short. Shotgun Edwards. Open underneath and unable to hit. James Hardy threw that one down low, and Edwards took a pretty good pop as he released that pass.
Yeah, Gerard Mayo coming on a blitz. Gets right in Edwards' face here bright and early. That's a real key to this game, is keeping Edwards clean. And already he's got a little smudge to him. Couldn't follow through on that throw because Hardy was wide open.
And he easily would have picked up the first down. So 3rd and 3. They stay in the spread formation with Marshawn Lynch to the right of quarterback Edwards. Again, he's pressured, and down he goes. Another sack. Edwards has tasted the turf 19 times this year. And Richard Seymour, the Pro Bowl defensive end, 5 times a Pro Bowler, has his 5th sack of the season.
Well, there basically will not be a pocket. Ideally, you'd like a pocket to form, and Richard Seymour doesn't let the pocket form. Vrabel doesn't let the pocket form, and it's pressed right into Trent Edwards' face. And he's immediately now, for the second time, smacked in the first series.
Brian Moorman kicks Wes Welker back and backpedaling inside the 20. And the star wide receiver looking for room. There is none. Back to the 28-yard line into the arms of John Quarto, the rookie. A 60-yard punt by Moorman into the wind. 5 on the return. Here comes Matt Castle replacing All-Pro Tom Brady. He's 4-3 as a starter. 67% completion on the season. He's particularly solid here at home. 3 Pro Bowlers on one, if not the very best offensive line in the National Football League. Center Dan Copen is the anchor. And you just saw a wonderful Wes Welker. He works the slot on pace to match his last year's league high of 112 catches. 56 right at the midpoint mark. Gaffney in motion out of the shotgun. Matt Castle, he's going deep and incomplete through the hands of Randy Moss. And a late flag comes in.
Helmet-to-helmet contact, I think, on a defenseless receiver, Co Simpson. Ball was clearly gone when he contacted Randy Moss. I think that's what they're going to end up calling.
Walt Coleman.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 30 of the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Bad start for Buffalo. A free 15.
Well, on 2 stages, not only here with the late hit where Simpson lays out Randy Moss, it's clearly gone, but they tried to rush Matt Castle with 4. If they just bring 4, this offensive line will figure him out, and they won't get near Castle, and Castle can feel comfortable enough to throw.
First down out to the 44. Quick toss is complete to Gaffney, tackled immediately at the 50. Good defense from Reggie Corner. The Bills' best pass rusher, as we mentioned, Schobel is out. Ryan Denny takes his defensive end spot today. The linebackers are led by their leading tackler, Paul Posluszny. He's sure and he's really smart. And the Bills are without their top deep tackler, Dante Whitner, injured. 219-pound Brian Scott replaces him at strong safety. 2nd and 4. And under center is Castle. Lots of time, wide open. Randy Moss, first down at the 42, and Moss just tore apart Buffalo's defense last year. He had in 2 games 6 touchdown catches.
And when he gets first downs and he gets touchdowns this year, I mean, obviously it's a fact that when you get Randy Moss involved, you're going to win. But this year, more than any other, when they lose is when they don't get touchdowns at him and they ignore him and don't get him first downs.
4 touchdowns this year. At this point a season ago, he had 12. On his way to leading the league with 23. The give is to Benny Green Ellis. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, free agent rookie out of Ole Miss. Mentioning Moss, stunning 6 touchdown grabs in 2 games against the Bills a year ago. Week 3 at home, 2 touchdowns in the Patriots' 38-7 victory.
Wow, then that second game, 4 touchdowns in that game up there in Orchard Park, and Brady and he just tortured this defense.
56-10 result. Most touchdown receptions given up by the Bills in their history in one game. Castle protected well, throwing, and wide open is Welker, and they take Welker deep, and it's called a catch at the 17-yard line. Welker normally working underneath those little slants and hooks, but they send him deep, and Greer finally brings him down.
He came out of a bunch formation, and look at Matt Castle's throw. Does he have possession, and does that foot that hits the ground, does he have it, and is that 1, 2? Does he have possession?
1. No, he's on the line.
That's out of bounds.
But there's no flag. They're hurrying to the line of scrimmage, and Buffalo doesn't throw the red flag.
Or did they? Yeah, they threw it right in front of the Buffalo bench. I don't think the officials saw it.
Yeah, Duran was waving his hands as if to say, "Come on! I threw it out here. No one saw it." We'll see if this play counts or whether they'll go back and review. Apparently not. As Ben Jarvis Green Ellis takes it down to the 13, a gain of 5.
Well, remember, it's possession of the ball, then 2 feet. So not only does he maybe not have it, he's definitely on that step out of bounds.
But Duran just didn't get the red flag out and notice for the replay. Castle scrambles up the middle, 10-5, touchdown! Matt Castle celebrating his first ever NFL touchdown rushing.
And this is just the parting of the season. With what's going to happen when you start manning up down in the red zone against New England. It's going to leave the entire center of this defense wide open. The offensive line does a nice job. They're only rushing 4. It's man. They're leaving, and Matt Castle takes an easy gimme. And he's got good skills and pretty good speed for a guy his size.
Stephen Gostowski in for the extra point. And the Patriots move quickly. Castle capping off that quick drive. A little over 3 minutes. They go 71 yards in their first possession and a 7-0 lead. Gostowski kicks it off. Leotis McKelvin, who had 8 kick returns for touchdowns in college. The rookie sprints out across the 25-yard line and is hit there by Sam Aiken, former Buffalo Bill. The legs of Castle, not the arm, cap off the first scoring drive. Barron has been the key word for Buffalo in these environs. Tough to beat New England, and they're down early 7-0. Marshawn Lynch, and he plows forward for about 3. Well, that drive, 71 yards, quickly executed by young Castle. A little over 3 minutes, and when it comes to Buffalo, they picked up 7 yards in the run their first possession. Then they threw the ball twice, Randy. Now they run again. Don't you think that's key?
Absolutely, and that's one of the first things Dick Duran talked about was we don't have to run for 150 or even 100 yards, but we have to be effective, and that's keeping Trent Edwards in the right sorts of down and distances so they can't just tee off on him.
Stays under center, 2nd and 7 with Hardy replacing Josh Reed in motion. Back to Lynch. He dances for a couple, but very tough interior defense for the Patriots. led by that giant defensive tackle Vince Wilfork.
You know, Trent Edwards talked about the different looks this defense will give you. Here's an example of New England. They have 3-4 personnel on the field, but they're giving you a 4-3 look with 4 down linemen in the classic positions. And they also will mix it up. They'll give you the 3-4, they'll give you the 4-3. And for a young quarterback, you have to expect the unexpected. But it's a little harder when you're new like this to mentally adjust as fast as you probably should.
As he said, you work all week on a 3-4 set, and then all you see is a 4-3. On 3rd down and 4, the quick pass complete to tight end Robert Royal, and Royal has the first down near the 40. Ellis Hobbs, the tackler.
Yeah, right there you saw a reason why Trent Edwards is a starter here in Buffalo, and also one of the key reasons as to why he's been so successful. Very quick release, and when he makes his decision, that thing's coming out of there fast. And he doesn't mind just taking the check down. He doesn't always look down the field and get greedy. He doesn't mind the 4, 5, 6 yard gain.
Fred Jackson now in at running back for Lynch. That's leading receiver Lee Evans in motion, and it's Jackson with a call. And the former star of the Sioux City Bandits in the United Indoor Football League, where they retired his number 5, has his first carry today. One of the lovely stories in the NFL. A guy like Jackson plays indoor football, goes over in the NFL Europe 2 or 3 years, and perseveres, and as an undrafted player, finally now a significant contributor for Buffalo. He stays in. He's 6'1" and 215. Went to Coe College, same school. Marv Levy, an alum. Lots of time underneath to Jackson. He's a good receiver. He fights his way almost a yard shy of a first down into the arms of Teddy Bruschi.
Hey, you saw the New England defense kind of bouncing around a little bit right before the snap. Richard Seymour actually jumped out to try to get into a pure 3-4 look. No one got any real traction to press Trent Edwards. You don't press him. He gets good pass protection. He can hold it long enough for that running back to circle all the way back around out of the backfield to get that possession.
Jackson knee down at the 47, so it's 3rd and 2. Lynch now at running back, and there's action before the snap. Richard Seymour charging into the
Come on, Richard.
Bills
Point at the
line.
other guy. Point at the other guy at least once.
Full start.
Yeah.
71. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Jason Peters, the giant left tackle.
Well, he's right here, and Seymour is here, and Seymour will react. If you flinch, he'll react. You see that little move forward? It doesn't take much, but to a defensive player, you show him any kind of sign that you're moving, that's going to be procedure.
Was it that delicate when you were on the offensive line? You got away with a little movement, didn't you?
No, because I never moved.
Oh, I forgot. All right, 3rd and long now, and so into the shotgun with the spread. Edwards, a quick throw underneath to Parrish. He spins away from 1, from 2, and fights his way maybe for the first down as he's right at the yellow line. What an effort by Roscoe Parrish, 171 pounds.
Yeah, referee Walt Coleman's probably going to have to measure this one. That's why you give a guy that plays wide receiver, who's also a kick returner, the ball in air, because he'll make the first guy miss. In fact, a good guy like Roscoe Parrish, he'll make the second and third guys miss sometimes when you give it to him with that much grass around him.
Well, that was hard earned. Every half yard by Roscoe Parrish did he pick up the first down.
He stretched late with it, but they marked the ball a little bit short of where he stretched to.
He got it. So first down for the Bills by inches at the 49-yard line.
Really importantly in this drive so far, we've seen the Buffalo Bills offense take care of their quarterback, and in no coincidence, their quarterback so far has taken care of them. So Dick Duran needs that line and the running backs to continue this. They need to run consistently 3-4 yards.
Marshawn Lynch, the outstanding runner at California in his second season, is the running back, double tight end. Lynch. And just not much there. He does get into New England territory to the 49, a pickup of 2.
Go to a pass, something behind those linebackers who are trying to press inside.
2nd and 8, a 4 wide receiver spread. Edwards underneath to Parrish. And it's good for just a few yards to the 45. Ellis Hobbs at the corner with a stop.
Did you notice Lee Evans and him with about 2
Stole
yards
it from
of each
Evans.
other? That's not. I mean, that's absolutely wrong as you draw him up. It worked out pretty good, but Evans looked shocked that Parrish was there to take it away from him.
He was open too. They spot it inside the 45 where it'll be 3rd and 3.5. Lynch stays in the backfield with Edwards. The rookie Hardy in motion. Edwards dumps it off, incomplete to Lynch, and he tastes the turf again, does quarterback Edwards.
Yeah, Dallas Thomas came off late, gave him that pure 3-4 look, and then he came late around the outside, around Edwards' left side. So as he turned to get that ball off, he never saw Dallas give him a little taste of the artificial surface.
Tough to get into the second and third options under that pressure.
Well, when you see a Dallas Thomas move that quick, isn't it? It's easy to forget he's 6'2", 270.
Yeah, he is such an outstanding athlete. Former Baltimore Raven Brian Moorman to punt it to Kevin Falk, the all-purpose Patriot. Beautiful high spiral. Fair catch, Falk at the 10. And that's where the Patriots will play it when we return. Start at the 10. Ben Jarvis, Green, Ellis takes the handoff out of the shotgun. And here comes the rookie free agent for 6 yards before Co Simpson can make the tackle. And we go to Randy time. Crosstalk.
Yeah, I mean, they show good patience on that run. And this is an offense that's very patient. And they go out of their way to get the ball to an exciting runner. That's Wes Welker. Usually behind the line of scrimmage or within the first couple yards of the line of scrimmage, but then he runs down the field and he runs after the catch as good as anybody out there.
The Yaks, so yards after catch. The Bills were talking about that. We've got, if he catches it, we got to tackle him right away. 2nd and 4. It is to Welker in the right flat, and there is an immediate hit. And no gain on the play is Reggie Corner. That's my new favorite name, football name this week, Reggie Corner. You know, someday we're going to be talking about Freddie fullback. Corner at corner.
And well, he can. Not only do you like his name, the Patriots know his name, because when he gets on the field, they're going to try to get him in that matchup. I believe if he gets on the field, you're going to see them try to see if they can't get Wes Welker being manned up with Mr. Corner.
That's because Ashton Yabodi, the nickel, is on IR with a foot injury. Castle sees an opening up the middle, and the former baseball player in Chatsworth, California, slides for a first down at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, you run certain kinds of defense against this spread offense, and you start manning up and start running down the field with receivers. The only way there's going to be a receiver or a defender in the middle is one of the 2 high safeties when they're man under. And heck, Co Simpson's 30 yards away from Matt Castle by the time he starts running. There's nothing he can do about the first 10 or 15.
The lanky 6'4", 230-pound Castle, 2 carries, 22 yards, the leading rusher in the game. Long pass to the sidelines to Moss, and a first down at the 44. Steps out in front of Terrence McGee.
Wow, what a beautiful job. You can see the chemistry's coming between these two. Back shoulder throw. By back shoulder, I mean the one there. Drive off the corner. Beautiful footwork after the catch. Possession, 2 steps. Good catch.
19-yard result. Yeah, didn't have much of a chance last week in the loss against Indianapolis. Here's a reverse to Moss, and Moss hitting the backfield, skips away from that tackle, but coming up quickly is Brian Scott from the safety spot to force a loss on the play. Well, Castle underneath, complete to Moss, short yardage to the 47-yard line. We'll bring up 3rd and long. Terrence McGee, the tackler.
You know, I mentioned it earlier about getting Randy Moss involved. Didn't have a ball thrown at him, much less have one in the first half last week.
Look at that. Watch out, Shannon. Here comes Moss. He's tied you now in career catches, 815, 17 most all time in NFL history.
Don't worry, Shannon. You won't be tied long.
Steve Largent is just ahead now. There's the throw to Welker, and Welker to the midfield stripe, and that's all. So a good defensive stand by the Bills in that sequence, and they force the punting team on.
Beautiful job twice, Dick, on this possession by the Buffalo defense. The New England Patriots got Wes Welker in the matchups they wanted. They wanted him in the air, and they wanted him to make the first guy miss, and he couldn't make that first tackler miss either time.
So out comes Chris Hansen, the left-footed kicker, and two return men deployed by Buffalo, Roscoe Parrish and Fred Jackson. And the fair catch by Parrish. Whoa! That wind playing tricks with that, and he said, I thought it was interfered. Just joining us, Matt Castle scrambled in 12 yards for the rushing touchdown to open the scoring today. The deep throw is intercepted by Ellis Hobbs. Hobbs at the 40, stumbles to the 35, 34. Intended for Lee Evans. Edwards just off the mark, and we have an injured Bill on the play.
Yeah, just a little bit high and a little bit of a surprise. High and behind Lee Evans, right into the hands of Ellis Hobbs, and Buffalo's lucky he didn't turn right into the leading NFL kick returner right there, because he's leading the NFL in kickoff returns.
Another interception that's plagued the Bills here in the last two games, and Hobbs has his second of the season, and the injured player was Duke Preston.
Remember at the beginning of the game we mentioned, hey, look, it's your ball, take care of it. Well, so far that's not a very good job of taking care of it. That's a definitely high and behind throw to a wide open receiver. The idea was there, the execution was off.
So the short field for New England at the 34 of the Bills. Kevin Falk with Castle. He throws to Falk, and the screen eludes one tackler. He's so tough to find and so tough to bring down. Paul Posluszny makes the tackle as the final seconds tick away. And there's Robert Kraft, who bought this franchise for $172 million 14 years ago. It has improved in value rather significantly. And the play of his team's been outstanding. There's a fly swat on the attempted pass by Castle. Of course, last year the perfect season, 16-0. Ryan Denny, he's big and tall at 6'7", and he's good at doing just this.
You know, Dick, look at the inside of this offensive line for New England on the play before last. Perfect execution of the screen. Logan Mankins gets a block. He kicks out. Neal on the backside gets a great block on Marcus Stroud trying to make the tackle. Looks like a simple thing, but that kind of execution with this style of a movement offense will also pay off dividends again with opening up the run.
Drive down to the 15-yard line by Ben Jarvis. Green Ellis. Keith Ellison makes the tackle. First down for New England, leading 7-0, and now deep in Bills territory after the interception by Ellis.
A beautiful job by Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, of showing that patience we talked about. We talked a little bit about it with him, that you can hang and hang and hang and then go when you make your decision. He's a two-time 1,000-yard rusher in the SEC at Ole Miss.
That's Falk in motion. Castle looking for Falk. There he is, and quickly denied the catch. Kavika Mitchell, who has a Super Bowl ring with the Giants a year ago and acquired as a free agent by Buffalo. Well, Ben Jarvis, he said, I'm called Benny by my mom. She's here, always has been at his game since high school. Latonia Green never misses a game. Said, she calls me Ben Jarvis. I know I'm in trouble. She says, Ben Jarvis, Jeremy Green Ellis, you come see mom. That's it. She's in the pink hat there, cheering her son today. Falk on a draw. Ooh, coming up quickly to make a solid hit was Paul Posluszny with help from Ellison.
That's both these inside linebackers. Very quick reactors, excellent tacklers for the Buffalo Bills. It's really incumbent, though, upon this front four when you're playing this style of offense, a New England team. And I don't care about the injuries, because the reason I don't care, because I know they don't care. The New England Patriots don't use it as an excuse. They don't have certain players. Well, you could have a hard time telling a lot of their opponents that they're down guys the way they play.
So 3rd and long as the Bills try to dig in, force the field goal, and the Patriots eye a touchdown, and Castle looks, throws, and it's incomplete and almost intercepted on the carom. Benjamin Watson, the tight end, had his hands on it, but then was rocked on a solid hit from one of the secondary, I believe, Terrence McGee.
Yeah, what a nice job, Dick. Matt Castle makes his decision, takes a hit for it right at the end, but Terrence McGee comes up and puts his shoulder pad right in the lower back.
That was almost a catch by Watson, but he did need the field. Watch, when it comes down off his back, he gets his hands on it, but the ball did land on the ground simultaneously. So watch right here. Right? And what? There's the ball, and yeah, the ball hit the ground.
Yeah, it hit the ground.
Gostowski with the short field goal, 32 yards. And Stephen Gostowski, he's having a Pro Bowl season, 20 early and often. Gostowski had a touchback on his first kickoff, and this one jumps out of bounds at the 1, and that will bring a frown from head coach Bill Belichick. It's the 1 no-no. I mean, you got to keep it in play. 40 yards is where 40-yard line is where the Bills will start. But Miami leads 14-0. Jets 17-0. The other teams fighting for the AFC East. There's the drill to Roscoe Parrish, and a first down in New England territory.
And Dick, you see how clean Trent Edwards was. He was able to step right up into that throw, and hasn't had a whole lot of those. When he hasn't been hit under the chin, he's been sacked, he's been knocked down, and had the pile pushing up into his body. He couldn't step into that throw that was intercepted.
That's his last 2 games and a quarter, 4 interceptions. We've got Fred Jackson now in the Wildcat formation, taking the direct snap. And of course, this works so effectively against New England when employed by the Miami Dolphins in a big win here earlier in the season. Let's go to
17-0. Dick and Randy.
All right, thanks, JB, for that report. Jackson hit in the backfield, breaks a couple of tackles, gets something out of nothing. This 215-pounder from Coe College in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and that's pretty close to a first down. Boy, what an effort.
Oh, yeah, well, Vince Wilfork was 3 yards into the backfield. He was the first person to meet him right after, not too long after the handoff. Wilfork's right there in the middle, coming off that nose guard position. He comes off of Duke Preston's block, hits him in the backfield, can't wrap him up, and that's all leg churning and arm grabbing by the defense.
Should have been a 2-yard loss, and he picked up a couple. It's 3rd and a short yard, and they're going to throw for it. And wide open is the tight end Derek Schumann, and Schumann tumbles down inside the 25-yard line. Buffalo first down. Schumann with only his 5th catch of the season, 2nd-year receiver from Boise State.
Ball gets out of there quick, but they're getting a little cone of silence here around Trent Edwards. You're not getting near him. He steps into the throw. That's the kind of rhythm. Keep your quarterback clean, keep his confidence up, and keep moving this ball.
14-yard pass play. At the 23, Marshawn Lynch. And Lynch for about 3, maybe 4. Seattle, boy, they breathe life with Bill Parcells, who are calling a lot of shots into that Miami franchise. Marshawn Lynch on 2nd and 6. In the backfield, gets the handoff. Breaks one tackle and another. Spins outside, and another good effort by a Buffalo runner, and Gerard Mayo runs him out of bounds.
You know, you're supposed to have a good grasp of your technique, but when you don't have a good grasp of the runner, you should be running through. And when the Buffalo runner comes through here, Marshawn Lynch, you've got a grab there as a defender. You have another grab by Guyton that's unsuccessful. You have a grab coming up by Mayo. He runs out of field. No one actually tackled him.
Sounds like a sale, free holiday. Grab, grab, grab. 3rd down. And a long 2. A bullet catch to Parrish and a first down at the 10. Parrish finding a way to be open. He's become, with the injury to Josh Reed, the secondary target with Lee Evans drawing double coverage.
Don't you love the release of Trent Edwards? I mean, he gets that ball, it's right back there, and bang, that thing's out. And when he throws it, he spins it, as they say, very tight spiral. And all the receiver really sees is the point of the ball, and he sticks it right on him.
Ball right on the 10-yard line. So the Bills have that full yardage to go for a score. Again, the Wildcat, and it's Marshawn Lynch this time with a direct snap, and he fights his way down inside the 5. Vince Wilfork got to him first, but even with all the power and weight of Wilfork, Lynch showing good leg power.
Well, I mean, not like Vince Wilfork in the inside of this defense where they were supposed to be. Watch the nose tackle. Inside linebackers in this case. You know, you got Mike Vrabel. He's a little out of position. Wilfork's all over his back. Marshawn Lynch won't stop moving his legs. Good leg drive and way too much grabbing by the defense.
Goal to goal. The Bills have only scored 6 times in 11 chances. From the 4, it's Lynch again, and he is rejected. That'll bring up 3rd and goal at about the 3.
New England was in that kind of slid over 4-man line, 4-3 look, and I think it really kind of made Marshawn Lynch kind of think twice because he didn't have the decisive drill the ball into the line. If you're in this part of the field, you can't hesitate and think. You just got to go.
Under center is Trent Edwards. One would figure a pass here. 2 tight ends. 10th play of the drive.
Hardy out left, 81. He's 6'5".
Now they're going to run it, and it's Lynch, and he doesn't have a chance. Led by veteran Mike Vrabel. You're not going to fool him. 12th year out of Ohio State. How many plays just like that have we seen Vrabel produce through the years?
They don't care in New England. They are just going to go this way. When you pitch the ball like you do, this might as well be a pitch. And Marshawn Lynch, what's the saying, Dick? He who hesitates is lost.
Well,
Marshawn's not lost, but he's bruised.
He's covered. So out comes Ryan Lindell, who has made 46 straight field goal attempts inside the 40. This one an easy shot, not much more than an extra point. And Lindell from Washington State pounds it through, and the Bills are on the board. Producer Bob Monsbach and Suzanne Smith, they were parading around there the other night.
Well, nobody in that shot starving.
So it's now 10-3 as Lindell kicks it off to Ellis Hobbs. And Hobbs 5 yards deep, and he's always tempted as the longest kick ever. First down, 10-3. Patriots with the ball in the lead, and Castle to throw from his own 20, and he's going to the sideline. Wide open Welker. 40-45, out of bounds 47. 27-yard gain on first down as we switch back to New York. Oh, this is making the AFC East so interesting. Yeah. Miami's well ahead, Jets well ahead. Here it's 10-3 in the battle for the AFC lead in the East. First down on a 27-yard pass. Here comes Castle back to the sideline to Moss, and another good gainer of about 9 yards at the 44 of Buffalo. I don't know what yard line he's on, but I see you're just giving us all the variety of scoring. Next will be a rouge for our CFL fans. Give to Green Ellis, and not much there off the left side as Brian Scott comes up from safety to support.
Well, it should be enough to get him a first down, though, and keep these chains moving, Dick.
And it is indeed first down. They needed only a yard.
You know, if you saw the game in the opener when Brady went out and Matt Castle entered the game, he had a pretty good degree of confidence because he'd run this offense all preseason long. But the difference from week 1 to week 10 in Matt Castle is startling how much confidence he has. But you know, one thing he's really got today is protection.
And all the coaches, including Jerron, talking about just that. He is maturing on the job. Here's Green Ellis turning down to the 40, a short gain for this 224. He's listed at 215, told us he's at 224 out of New Orleans. There's Jerron. He and Belichick go way back over 30 years ago. Jerron was an outstanding safety with the Detroit Lions, and the Lions hired this young coach, Bill Belichick, as kind of a quality control, all-purpose. And Jerron said, what do you remember about him? He said he was so organized and complete in his detail. Even at a young age, you could see he was going to be something special.
And a snappy dresser.
Actually, Belichick is 2 years younger than Jerron when he was coaching him at the Lions. Here's Castle. He's going to run it again. He's had success. And look at that. Skips away from a tackle and a first down. A flag is down upfield.
Might be an illegal block in the back.
Walt Coleman, the man in the white hat today.
Illegal block in the back. Number 10. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Jabbar Gaffney trying to help out downfield. He had gone deep and then coming back to the play.
Well, you know, if you're a coach, we talked about Bill Belichick, and you're looking at, is that a bad mistake? Well, not necessarily. There's the first block. Here, right here, is Gaffney getting his block, and he's got his hands on the backside. So, yeah, that was a bad block. But you're trying to help your quarterback who's out of the pocket. And trust me, Bill Belichick wants no part of finding out how well Kevin O'Connell, his rookie backup, can play. So at all costs, take care of Matt Castle.
Yeah, that's a good point. Second down and 13. He had first down yardage. Throws underneath Welker. Oh, that play just seems to work every time. Just cross Welker over the middle, and he's right at the sticks.
Well, if you're going to run a zone against Wes Welker in this offense and you're not going to pressure Matt Castle, that's exactly what you're going to get, because you're going to get dropping here and here, here and here. Then you get linebackers here and here, and then you get Wes Welker, who's just going to come and cross the formation. See, as everybody drops in the zones, good luck. You've got nobody that can stay with Wes Welker. He'll just find an empty spot and cut you up.
3rd and 1. Matt Vrabel into the lineup, and they give it to Green Ellis, and Ellis has the first down at the 31-yard line. One of the many remarkable statistics about the Patriots and Bill Belichick, when the Patriots do lose, which has been so rare, they're the winningest team in the last 5.5, 6 years in the league. They lose a game. How do they do the next game? Well, since 2003, how about 15-1? Belichick just stops the losing streaks at 1. And that's how he's performing today. His team, after losing a tough 18-15 game at Indianapolis last week. Castle pump and goes long, and Moss is open. And at the last minute, and closing quickly, Terrence McGee to swat it away.
A little too much air. Matt Castle got that up a little too high. The wind, and remember, he's going in the direction, the wind's coming the other way. The ball floats a little. Look at Randy Moss. He's wide open. You drop that over the top into the corner, it's a touchdown. He has to hesitate and come back, and McGee's there and able to make the play.
McGee at only 5'9", and giving away more than a half a foot, but got that right hand in there in time. What a job being a cornerback in the National Football League. That's such a complicated. Whoa, what a hit on Kevin Falk is coming up with a solid tackle. Was Ryan Denny. Also Copeland Bryan.
You know, Dick, being a cornerback in the NFL, you've got to have absolutely, everyone says amnesia, no memory from play to play, but I think it's almost like juggling knives blindfolded. You have to have confidence. You know that you're always grab and handle. When you reach out and grab it, it's handle, it's handle, it's handle. You have to have that kind of confidence in yourself that you're never going to be wrong.
That's why these cornerbacks, some of them very little, have so much swagger. Castle underneath, incomplete to Falk. Threw that one off mark. Keith Ellison, the closest linebacker. Now at 4th down coming up. Let's see the call by Belichick. Gostowski's longest this year is 49 yards, and he's coming on the field. As we mentioned earlier, he's missed only once all year out of 21. That was from 48. Long 49, as you can see.
And it's going into what they say 12 miles an hour to start the day, maybe 15. I can tell you on the field, it feels like it's blowing a lot more, and this is right into the wind.
49-yard attempt. It is no good. Hooks to the left. And the wind, as it swirls here, as it comes in from that end, comes around the stadium, and watching him warm up, a lot of balls were sailing just as this one did from right to left. So no points for the Patriots in that possession. It remains 10-3. Gostowski, they get it at the 39. Remember, they started the last drive at the 40 on the Gostowski kickoff out of bounds. Edwards goes deep to the sidelines, and is it a good catch to Steve Johnson? Yes, Johnson at the 46 of New England. That's a tough throw deep down the sidelines.
Yeah, but
after the 2-minute warning, here's our billboard up on the left. You see timeouts remaining, both with 3. Quarterback comparison, more yards for Castle, but Edwards 8 for 11, 1 intercepted. He throws behind his receiver, incomplete. James Hardy, the rookie from Indiana. And again, pressure as he's throwing.
Yeah, that is so key here, because you're looking at timing throws. That throw to James Hardy is a timing throw, and he can't step up. I mean, it's human nature. Mike Wright comes in 99 and gets in his face. You have a choice. You can step into the throw, and you can really get hit, or you can just get hit and not step into the throw.
2nd and 10 from the Patriots 47. Better protection. And it doesn't pay off. Parrish was in the slot at the 30, but Edwards couldn't find him. Right now, Marshawn Lynch with 26 yards rushing has 1 yard less than Matt Castle, the quarterback of the Patriots. They just have not been able to establish in these last 2.5 games a rushing game. In fact, only rushed 4 times in the second half last week in the loss to the Jets.
Well, right now, Trent Edwards needs his receivers to be on the same page as he is, because Roscoe Parrish on the last play was not.
3rd and 10. Underneath, complete to Hardy this time, but couldn't quite turn upfield, and is tackled at the 39. All right, Coach Cross, what do you do here?
Well, I would let Ryan Lindell take a crack at it, but they're going to go ahead, and I think they're going to punt, aren't they?
Yeah, Mormon's coming out to punt it. Don't want to miss a long field goal and give New England a shorter field.
Well, you're not exactly playing with house money to start with here. You've never won a game in this new building. I'm surprised New England's not stopping the clock and conserving some time.
They got 3 timeouts. Why wouldn't they? So Mormon, noting that, is going to take his time before he punts it. Now they're chewing up a lot of potential plays with about 25 seconds being burned here with no timeout. Now finally, and there's no problem with getting delay a game here, as Mormon is going to be kicking from about the 45. Actually, it's Buffalo that calls the timeout. Maybe a fake. They have done it this year.
Bobby April is a special teams coach for Buffalo. He's big on that.
And not this time. High wobbler. Kevin Falk lets it bounce, and it is going to be down, putting on the brakes just in time before the goal line. On a great piece of coverage here.
Speaking out of the box, Castle in this offense, be very careful with the ball. You get it right back.
So handoff inside to Green Ellis, who gets a couple. Buffalo calls time. They have 1 left.
And wait for.
And welcome back. Trent Edwards and the Bills trailing 10-3. New England deep in its own end, and it's Ben Jarvis Green Ellis again for 2 or 3 yards, and Buffalo will utilize its final timeout. You're not going to out-slicker him in this situation. He's just going to take a knee here. What Bobby April and the Buffalo Bills were hoping for is to get it to 4th down, have enough time that they'd have to punt, maybe the fair catch, and try that very seldom used free kick and a field goal chance. But that's at the end of the first half.
The numbers worked pretty good in the first half for New England.
All right, total yards. Patriots with the advantage there by a plus 68. Only 36 rushing yards for Buffalo, and many feel until they can run the ball more effectively, the Bills struggle, which now is 3 losses in their last 4 games after the 4-0 start, will continue. Oh, the Patriots will own possession of the ball first. Ryan Lindell has it teed up, and here we go in the second half. Ellis Hobbs at the 4. And he's met rudely at about the 17-yard line. Well covered again as Hobbs, who was leading the NFL with a 29.3 average, stopped cold by John Corto, the 210-pound linebacker from Sacred Heart. Passing And rushing stats for you as we go into the second half. Green Ellis leading the way with 34. And Lee Evans, when Buffalo gets the field, still looking for his first catch. Hand off to Green Ellis, and he gets good yardage out across the 20 on first down. The kid out of New Orleans. It's one of the many stories after Katrina as Kelsey makes the tackle.
And it's worth mentioning too, as those first half possessions there for the New England Patriots, they've pressed the ball down the field, Dick, with a passing game. We've seen a lot of dinking and dunking out of Matt Castle. Until today, he's throwing it down the field.
Back to Green Ellis. Green, his mother's name, Ellis, his father's.
It's an interesting story. You mentioned Hurricane Katrina. He lived in the family had a house in the 9th Ward there. Talked about going back in time off, and
9 feet of water and the roof collapsed. They had to start from scratch, but on the same foundation.
Yep, stripped everything away, was putting up drywall, making sure everything was clean with what they could, and then put fresh wood up from there, but they're still back in the same place.
Falk comes in for Green Ellis on 3rd and 1. Randy Moss in motion. And Castle wanted to go to Moss, has to go off to Welker. He's got the first down and more as Welker with those quick feet out to the 39, and that's his 6th catch today. An NFL record. Never before in league history has a receiver in the first 9 games of a season caught 6 passes or more. Welker has done it today.
Boy, in each of the games he's caught. That's amazing. You look at his numbers, it kind of makes you shake your head at times how much they use him. And Castle had to scramble to see him, I think, behind that line, but he did it.
Not a lot of noise as they announced that record as Castle goes deep down the field, and it's incomplete. Intended for Moss, well covered. Terrence McGee again able to make the play.
Yeah, don't be fooled. There are defenses all over this league that are cringing when they see this game tape. That this is an offense that's willing to press the ball down the field. Randy Moss got up slow. He was a little bit tangled up at the end of that catch. But, man, if this is an offense willing to do this, it's going to take a fabulous play like Terrence McGee made to keep that from being a completion. As you saw, Terrence McGee, his foot came down right on top of Randy Moss's foot and kind of smashed it down into the ground.
So 2nd and 10. McGee making another good play, and here's a little flanker screen to Welker, and he's tackled at the 41. Now, you might have noticed there just isn't a lot of excitement and noise here at Foxborough. We talked earlier about Geron when he said the young coach Belichick knew all the little fine details at such an early time. And there was evidence of that as we talked to Belichick. He said, you know, especially when you're on the road, the best time is after the half because all the people are still back in the clubs or at the concession stands, and you look across the way. So it is here. There are just not as many people to make noise. So that's the time for you to take advantage.
Well, there's little or no noise in this stadium right now. You can hear some muttering, but it's pretty much clean and free for the offense on the field.
And there's a drill to Moss, and a first down at the 48 in front of Terrence McGee as Moss spears that for the first down.
Well, from the very first play, it's been Terrence McGee, you've got 81. You see him play off a little bit, but he's manned up with 81. He's got the help inside. He's not letting him get deep, but Moss last week, not a ball thrown at him, not a catch in the first half. He's been constantly not only on Buffalo's mind, he's been front of mind for Matt Castle.
That's 5 catches for Moss, 6 for Welker, and now Sam Aiken gets into the act for a short gainer of about 3.
It's so different. You know, we talk about Wes Welker a lot, and he did go to Texas Tech, who's on a heck of a roll.
Yeah, how are they doing this year?
Well, you know, Coach Leach has given all these. He's so innovative. He's got this great passing game. Those little quick screens you've seen to Welker and the quick screen there to Aiken, those were great in college for one very important reason. If you throw it behind the line of scrimmage like that, in college, a lineman can go downfield and block, and the receivers can block. In the pros, you can't block.
Can you imagine what would happen if they could? No, 2nd and 7 for Castle in the shotgun. And it's to Falk. And he's just a tough man to tackle. He gives you that professional reliability game after game.
10 years, still chugging. We started the game with this whole idea that Kevin Falk was Mr. Reliable. Used to be Troy Brown that had all the different jobs, Mr. Versatility. And that really is Falk, whether he's returning kicks or covering kicks or catching the ball out of the backfield or running the ball. And actually on third down, he's on the field because he also blocks really well against the blitz.
Vrabel into the lineup for New England on 3rd and short. And that's Green Ellis for the first down and more. Boy, he just got through that hole like a shot. Co Simpson finally ran him off the field of play, but they only needed one. And Green Ellis picked up that and a bonus of 11 more.
Well, you mentioned Vrabel. Well, Vrabel's on the left side. Right side, here goes Heath Evans. Nick Kazur, nice job. Thomas, the tight end, excellent job. And then it's just Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis just driving with that forward momentum and that forward lean.
Now on first down with a quick huddle. That's back to Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. 2 times at Ole Miss as a junior and senior, he rushed for 1,000 yards, and yet no one drafted him.
It's been a little bit of a different year. Aren't you surprised when you see those numbers, Dick, that they're 7th in the league still?
Well, Grady here, there was always pass, and complemented with a run. But this year, in making that adjustment, Belichick gone to the ground game, and with the 5 different backs rushing for over 100 yards, gotten the job done. And they're about to go over the 100-yard mark, 15 shy now. Back to Green Ellis. Just bowls his way down inside the 20-yard line in back of that terrific offensive line of Light, Mankins, Copen, Neal, and Kazur.
And a great job of adjustments by Bill Belichick and his offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels. We mentioned going at the end of the first half. Why be too crazy if you're New England? Because you're just getting the ball right back. You'll have the first possession of the second half. You can go in, make your adjustments, and see how they work. So far, these adjustments are pretty good.
And there's Green Ellis. Meets early resistance this time and pushed back after a yard. Brian Scott led the way. This is the 21st drive this season for New England of 10 plays or more. That's most in the NFL. They've consumed 6.5 minutes already of this third quarter.
And they bring Gostkowski back onto the field, and he has done so much. Remember, forever it was Vinatieri in big spots for the New England Patriots, and everyone thought it was the end of their clutch kicking. This kid's been money for him.
He missed from 49. This is for 37 yards. Kicked one earlier of 34. And this is easily another 3 for the Patriots. So 81, he needs just 4 yards more today receiving to pass ex-Patriot Irving Fryer for 11th place on the all-time NFL list. Leotis McKelvin and the rookie putting on some nice moves all the way to the 38-yard line before Pierre Woods could bring him down. Edwards in the shotgun. Underneath, and finally Lee Evans has a catch, his first of the day. Their leading receiver with 35 catches and averaging 19.4 a grab. There's the report card for Buffalo in the opening half after a couple of punts. Then the ball intercepted. That led to a field goal for New England. Finally the field goal after they started on the 40 with Gostkowski's kick out of bounds. Edwards, who has chatted with a fellow Stanford alum John Elway about quarterbacking, this time handed off to Marshawn Lynch and Mike Vrabel and company with the tackle. It's going to be short of the first down, at 3rd and less than a yard. Edwards also benefited from the fact that Bill Walsh, before he passed, was a counselor there at Stanford, had offices there, and he said, I'd go in and talk to Walsh, and he said, don't forget now in that West Coast offense, use the tight end, use your running back.
Yeah, Bill was the interim athletic director as they were finishing up that new stadium down over at Stanford, which coincided with Trent Edwards' stay.
Well, he benefited from some pretty good counsel, Elway and Walsh. On 3rd and short, shotgun, and then there is that long handoff, incomplete to Lynch.
Ellis Hobbs was thinking hit, but almost had football. In fact, I'm not surprised if that ball didn't catch more of Ellis Hobbs's numbers than it did Marshawn Lynch.
That's twice today on third and very short. They've gone to the pass and unsuccessfully so, and now out comes the punting team.
Well, you've got to sustain these drives, and you have to have confidence in your running game. And right now, Buffalo has no confidence in their running game, and without that, you can't sustain drives.
Mormon. Wonderfully high kick. Oh, that is way up there, and Falk with a fair catch at the 8-yard line. Castle and the Patriots start at their 9. Spread formation. Underneath, the throw complete to tight end Benjamin Watson for short yardage. The BCS championship started next year. 7 yards on that first down pass to Watson, and now to Kevin Falk. Tries to bounce outside, and he's covered at the 17. Keith Ellison there first for the Bills, and that'll bring up third down and a couple.
Now, if you're Buffalo's defense here, you have to be very, very careful. You're better off as they bring in corner, the young corner, number 27, into the game, into a nickel look, and bring out Ellison. You have to be very careful. You're going to set yourself up into a just Matt Castle stand right up after the snap and just flip it right out for a quick run.
Where's Welker? He's coming in motion. Castle scrambles, throws, and completes it to Gaffney. Jabbar Gaffney finding a crease over the middle and a first down.
It was a nice kind of a rub pick move on the right-hand side. You mentioned Wes Welker came in motion. He came in motion to the right side, went up the field, broke out. When he broke out, Gaffney broke up underneath him. All Castle needed was enough time for that route to develop, and he had plenty of time.
Gaffney, whose daddy played for the Jets 8 years, Derek, and that is his 14th catch of the season. Throw is incomplete, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Ryan Denny, that's a second one today for the 6'7" Denny. That's is it going to be 9 in a row for Jeff Fisher's Titans?
They've already thrown the ball more than 20 times, so it's a little out of the box for them today.
There's a throw underneath, complete to Welker, and Welker is just shy of the first down. Sticks at the 38 as Posluszny and Mitchell make the tackle.
You know, Dick, we've talked about this AFC East a little bit, but isn't it different? I mean, Buffalo is just finishing up a tour through the AFC East, when they lost to Miami, they lost to New York. Now they're playing New England. Now the New England Patriots, they have the Buffalo Bills today. This Thursday, Bill Belichick's team plays on the NFL Network. So there's that game against the Jets, and then the Sunday after that they have Miami. So
3rd and 1, and hit in the backfield is Green Ellis by big Marcus Stroud, the ex-Jacksonville Jaguar, acquired this 3-time Pro Bowler by trade in the offseason.
And Marcus Stroud just comes screaming right through the defense. Watch the penetration on both sides of the line of scrimmage, but especially Marcus Stroud. And that's the kind of thing that this offense cannot live with. They can't live with a little bit of penetration, because just reality is that disrupts most offenses, especially one that has 3 of their best backs already inactive.
So Hansen sends that left foot into a high wobbler that Roscoe Parrish is going to fair catch. Boy, he had some room to run at the 19-yard line. So back with the ball, trailing by 10 late in the 3rd. Edwards. Well covered by Vrabel was Fred Jackson out of the backfield.
Well, you know, this offense has nothing going on with the run game, Dick. Pats are looking for the run here.
2 tight ends. They get the run, and they grab the runner Lynch in the backfield. Wilfork, he was penetrating again. And getting up slowly is Lynch.
There's Merriweather, the corner, the safety, but look at everybody else. That's 8 in the box. The last play was a 2-deep safety, and they threw against that. They're giving them the short pass, and then they're challenging the run when they bring up the safety. You've got to have an audible. You've got to have something that comes off that where you just say, hey, look, if they're up in that look, I've got to throw against the 8-man, and they give me the 7-man, I got to run.
3rd and 12 deep in your own end, and the fans come to life. Here comes Vrabel. Long throw to the sidelines, caught by Lee Evans, and he is the first down. Yes, Evans using that vision to catch the ball and then knowing automatically where that sideline was and staying in bounds. 15-yard play.
And a beautiful throw by Trent Edwards. The catch and the feet down were almost simultaneous, but it was beautiful.
Now the ballet form of these wide receivers is just so delicious. First down at the 32. Dump it to Jackson, and Jackson wrestled down at the 36-yard line by rookie Gary Guyton from Georgia Tech.
Dick, we've seen this New England defense frustrate Trent Edwards at times, but man, this Matt Castle on the offensive side for the Patriots hasn't been frustrated a whole lot. He's come out with all sorts of different looks, a lot of it to Randy Moss and a lot of it to Wes Welker.
Building a 13-3 lead, but it's Buffalo's turn now. Second down and 6. Offside was Rabel, and the whistle blows that one dead.
Now you know why they call it unabated.
Offside, 50, defense, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, he didn't look baited to me either, Walt.
Yeah, he took the bait there, guessed on the snap count, and he said, as long as I'm on my way.
Watch the end of it right there. You see the right hand of Trent Edwards. Mike Vrabel slaps out, and he gets Edwards' right hand. It's not hard to jam up a finger or a thumb with one of those slaps from a defensive player.
With the 5-yard penalty, the least penalized team in the NFL are the Patriots. They went through a whole game against St. Louis, not one penalty. Second and short, and there's the first down carry by Fred Jackson, and the first time today that the Bills have picked up a first down with a run.
You know, Dick, there is somebody that we haven't seen for a little while on this defense that started out really well. It's Adalys Thomas. And the Patriots said he had some sort of an arm injury and isn't in right now. Pierre Woods, number 58, is playing for him a lot at the outside linebacker position, the young linebacker out of Michigan.
We saw Jackson limp off after that last carry. First down at the 45. Edwards throws it away, and that's Wilfork again, right into his face mask.
Yeah, that's one of those oof hits. Yeah, because that's an oof hit, because that's the noise you make when a big guy like Vince Wilfork.
What would he say again?
Oof. When all that wind comes out of you, you go, oof.
And you hope you're not the man assigned to blocking Wilfork hearing that sound.
And if you have to watch this enough times, it qualifies as a triple woof.
That'll get the dog pound howling. Second and 10. Intercepted. Deltha O'Neal still on his feet and finally wrestled down by Robert Royal, the tight end.
And that was a nice job of Deltha O'Neal. They were in a zone. He settled back right into the throw, and Edwards should have never thrown this. The veteran baited him.
And they're 2-0 on 2 interceptions today. First down at the 41. And it's Green Ellis pounding his way for 11 more to the 48-yard line. This young guy is quite a free agent find.
Dick, let's go back to the interception. Cover 2 deep safeties. Watch the job right here that Deltha O'Neal does. The corner's the first read. So Edwards reads that he's pressing up, that it must be man. Instead, he drops right back into the throw, and he's right where the quarterback thinks he's not. He thinks he's up near the line of scrimmage or closing down the line with that receiver that he pressed.
Touchdown of the game, the very first possession by the Patriots, and Matt Castle 12 yards ran it in. 13-3 as we open the fourth, and it's Welker on a little run around the left side, and he's down to the 41-yard line. Well, I've got the oomph question of the day, Randy Cross. 75 times, the last 75 times New England has led going into the fourth quarter. How many times do you think they lost?
73?
No, they're 74-1. You almost got it.
Close. So close.
So what is the consolation prize? Yeah, bring in that goat.
And one of the reasons is, Dick, they run the ball so well late in the game. They know how to close a game out.
And when they've needed to run through the years, they're able to pound it away with the lead, eat up the clock. Well, that NFC North is much like the AFC East. So 3 teams right there in contention. That ball bounded in the air and incomplete. Oh, my. Gaffney had to go off his hands, and it was right in the midst of 3 Buffalo Bills, but they could not come up with a pick.
And if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, this is exactly what you want to see. The ball goes bouncing off of almost the face mask and chest of Gaffney. Luckily for the Patriots, there isn't a Bill there that you just pick that off and go the other way, because that's the kind of play Dick Duron and his team need. They need something to turn this momentum.
Gaffney, that blocked Kavika Mitchell away from it. Mitchell will probably have the best chance to dive and catch that one. 2nd and 10. Castle gets out of there for a moment, and then the sack of the first of the day, and maybe a fumble. A big scramble at the 45. Is this Buffalo's chance to turn it over?
Was his knee down before that ball came out of here is a question I have.
Well, let's first see who has the ball. They're going to have to go through the rubble and find out who's got possession. George Wilson was the man who came up from the secondary to make the tackle. And still no official. Yes, it's the Bills ball at the 45, and Wilson comes out with it.
Well, I wanted to see this. If I'm looking at this, I want to know, was Matt Castle down when that ball started coming out? Nope. He was off the ground before that ball started moving. That was clearly a fumble.
First takeaway for Buffalo. And Castle, typical of the quarterback, trying to get rid of the ball, save the sack, and that last hesitation cost New England the turnover.
Yeah, big Marcus Stroud came in and actually knocked that ball out. And like you say, Dick, sometimes a quarterback knows when it's best just to put a little mustard on it and eat it. Don't try to do anything heroic.
So trailing 13-3 early in the 4th quarter, the Bills get a chance from their own 44. Draw to Marshawn Lynch. And Lynch high steps his way into New England territory. A gain of 8. Mike Wright made the tackle. We go to. All right, thanks, JB, keeping us up to date. All these critical games today. 8 yards, the longest run today on that last carry. And here's Lynch breaking a tackle in the backfield. And with a certainly renewed spirit, charging ahead, first down to the 41.
2 plays in a row, Richard Seymour has gotten really nice shots on Lynch to make a tackle. Both times Lynch has just burst right through it. The first time it was kind of an arm tackle. That last play, Seymour actually got a little bit of a shoulder on him, but Lynch just drove through it with his legs.
Seymour picking up his 5th sack of the season in the first half today. And they stay on the ground to Lynch again. And he's able to burrow down to the 36-yard line into the arms of the leading Patriot tackler, rookie Gerard Mayo.
And what New England's done, too, is little running success. You mentioned Buffalo can't run. Well, there's been some running success, and they were being successful against the 3-4 look. That last play, they slid back into what looks like a 4-3. And with those big outside linebackers, they can make you wonder what the difference is with Mike Vrabel sometimes. But in the 4-3, it's a little harder to run against.
3 consecutive runs by Lynch. He has 46 yards on the day. And now to the pass on 2nd and 5. And down goes Edwards. The sack by Ty Warren. His 2nd of the season.
We're working against young Kirk Chambers, the 4th-year player out of Stanford who's playing at right guard. He kind of opens up, the right guard right here. He opens up to try to block. And when he does, Warren gets underneath him with leverage and then just chucks him on a bull rush. That was pure leverage and power against Chambers.
Chambers played with Edwards at Stanford a year. Gave him no favor there. So it's 3rd and 11. Down the middle. Incomplete to the tight end Royal. Well covered by Gerard Mayo, drifting back deep.
Now, you mentioned this young linebacker's name earlier, Dick. He is really something special. He's leading this defense in tackles. He's assimilated this complicated Bill Belichick defense very well, and you see his anticipation getting to the junction point where the ball and the receiver will be perfectly to disrupt that pass.
Plays like that earned Mayo the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Month in October. 6 tackles today in that pass breakup. Mormon to Kevin Fall. All-time punt return yardage leader in Patriot history. Fair catches at the 8-yard line. The Chiefs out at San Diego against the Chargers. Patriots with a 10-point advantage here in the 4th. Start from their own 8. And here's Falk for a yard out to the 9.
Here's a perfect example of what you need to do if you're Dick Jauron's Buffalo Bills. We talked about, well, last possession, get the ball back. Well, ideally you'd like the ball, but what you don't want to allow right here is a first down. Make New England punt, win this field position battle, put your offense on the Patriots side of the field, and then see if they can get a touchdown to cut this down to a 3-point game.
Falk stays in the backfield on 2nd down and 9. Castle to throw, and he's going long for Moss, and too long. Terrence McGee trying to stay up with Randy Moss. Moss at 6'4" to run like a antelope. He of course at Marshall, and he's out of West Virginia, and back there in Rand, West Virginia, his hometown. He's just plain old Otis. He's not Randy Moss. He's just Otis from Rand.
He was getting whacked pretty good going down that sideline by McGee. That's the reason why your guy Otis from Rand wasn't able to get up to full speed. If he's up to full speed, he might still be running.
Pretty good balance, wouldn't you think? Play selection, 29 runs, 29 passes, 3rd down. Castle. And there's the first down. Diving catch by Sam Aiken. And the protection given Castle to search out a secondary receiver, and a first down. Coach Simpson made the tackle. 19.
We've mentioned earlier today that you're going to have to fire zone or blitz Matt Castle. You can't get there with 4 rushers. They bring Kavika Mitchell. Kevin Falk does a great job of stepping up and stopping the blitz by Mitchell right in the middle of the screen, giving him the time to throw that ball down the field.
And another 19 yards, and back it is to Green Ellis. Ellis breaks a tackle to the 33-yard line, and a gain of about 5 before Kavika Mitchell could trip him up.
Dick, take a look at the little interior line play here. Watch Logan Mankins as a guard. He's going to pull and get a little trap block with a quick break right behind him by Green Ellis. That's just nice coordination and execution. Doesn't look like much, but it takes a lot of practice to get that timing down.
Injuries to Maroney and Jordan and Morris, and Green Ellis steps in, and he's got 81 yards today. A little flanker screen to Wes Welker, and he has a first down to the 42. Lusney makes the tackle.
Well, 2 plays ago we were talking about keeping him down inside the 10-yard line, and suddenly now they're about to go over on your side of the field. Beautiful execution on the long pass to Aiken, on the short run, and then on that play there, you got plenty of help with a couple offensive linemen to block, and that puts them, realistically, you're within probably 30 yards from here. You're in pretty good field goal range for Gostkowski.
Yeah, Welker now a catch away from double figures today. Green Ellis takes half the defense to push him back. Welker 9 catches, 96 yards, Randy.
It's been a little bit of everything, Dick. They've thrown it to him 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. They've thrown it to him 20 yards down the field. He's tap danced on the sideline. He's run screaming across the defense. He's got the run after catch. He's got the yards after catch. Most of all, he's just got a lot of catches.
At 5'9", 185, was not offered a scholarship out of high school, Oklahoma City, and just lucked into one at Texas Tech. Looking for the slot machine again. No, this time it's Gaffney. And they keep moving the chains, or this will be close to a first down, and with it, the time ticks away. We're at the midpoint of the 4th quarter.
You know, it's interesting. We talked about this being an offense that's ranked so high with the run, but Bill Belichick's offenses and Josh McDaniels or Charlie Weiss when he was here, this has always been an offense that was predicated on using the pass as the run. They probably piled most of their yards up against you, usually in the third and fourth quarters. But for my own way of doing it, if you're throwing the ball a yard, 2 yards, 3 yards down the field and saying, okay, run after the catch, you might as well be handing it off to a halfback.
3rd and inches. And a timeout called by New England to talk on with 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. Welker is out, and Randy Moss, the only wide receiver. He'll be to the bottom of your picture. Is this a time you gamble, go for the bomb? No. Straight ahead to Heath Evans, the fullback. Didn't need much. He got enough. A yard and a first down, and even a little more with second effort. Evans only his 8th carry all season, the 8-year veteran of Auburn.
Yeah, and this is just eating clock up, too. And Dick Duron knows his defense hasn't stopped New England's offense very much. In fact, you know, one time they've had a 3 and out, and that was at the end of the second half when they knelt on the ball. So does that really count?
This is just so frustrating for the team behind, because Belichick's Patriots have done this well with Brady and with Castle now. As we go to the run, here's Green Ellis finding running room on the sidelines. And finally bumped out of bounds at the 33, a first down, and he's right at the 100-yard mark is Green Ellis.
Well, if you can't gash him inside, go for the crease. And the crease is formed when you just make a wall on the side of a defense. The credit for that wall, that goes to David Thomas, the tight end. It goes to Matt Light, the left tackle. They just take the whole side and just let Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis go.
Is there a better line in the AFC?
This year they've had their moments.
95 yards now for Green Ellis. Now Castle throws off the chest of Green Ellis. Incomplete.
Let's go back to that thing about the line real quick, Dick. You know, last year I'd have told you they were clearly the best offensive line in the NFL. Then when they played the Giants in week 17, the Giants were able to isolate them inside with different defensive looks, using defensive ends inside on guards, and they really isolated individuals and did a great job in that game, and then in the Super Bowl of pressuring Tom Brady and disrupting this offense. Some teams have been able to take advantage of that same look. So this line has been much more challenged, and they've said a lot less flowery things about him this year.
2nd and 10. Line giving protection. Welker has the catch, and it's another first down at the 21. Let's go to New York. Another update. Okay, you can win in different ways, and the Packers using the defense. That's 10 catches here for Welker, 107 yards. Now Green Ellis, and he's to the 20-yard line, a gain of a yard plus. Kavika Mitchell, the tackler. Sapp and Collinsworth, and get all the best in highlights, insights, and more Wednesdays only on Showtime. Green Ellis, and he's wrapped up after another short gain. Spencer Johnson, defensive tackle, makes that play at the 19, and Buffalo will use another timeout. They have 1 remaining. It's 3rd down and 8 at the 19 for Castle and the Patriots. Underneath, complete to Gaffney, inside the 10, first down. And this long time consuming drive continues. It started back at the Patriot 8-yard line.
Well, they're thinking it's coming to the right because Welker and Moss are over there. Well, what happens is Welker and Moss run all the coverage off on that side. They drag Gaffney back from the backside, and it takes Kavika Mitchell screaming from the backside in coverage to make that tackle to stop a touchdown. It was wide open over there.
1st and goal, a nudge under the 9-yard line marker. 14 plays, 83 yards so far, and over 6.5 minutes on this drive. And timeout called by Castle.
Man, it hasn't been all bad. Keep an eye here on Randy Moss. Remember that height advantage with either corner they match him up on. Him in the corner to the pylon works for me.
1st and goal. Instead, they give it to Green Ellis. Sweep left for a couple. This drive started back inside the Patriot 10 with 11:05 left. and now it's down to 4:02. Last timeout has been exercised by the Buffalo Bills. Trying to secure this victory, the New England Patriots tied with Buffalo 5-3 at the start. Here's Green Ellis up the middle and pounded on at about the 4-yard line. Green Ellis is over the century mark today. That's his 25th carry.
You know, Dick, you refer to an offense, if you get the ball with about 6 minutes to go, we used to call it our 6-minute offense. You don't want to give them the ball back. You just ran out the clock. Now the Patriots got the ball back with about 11:05 to go, and they're going to probably run off at least 8 minutes of this fourth quarter. And if time is oxygen, Buffalo right now has absolutely got nothing to breathe with.
3rd and goal. 89-yard drive so far. Green Ellis, everything but a touchdown, as he has enjoyed his first 100-yard rushing game. Stop just short of the goal line and a flag as well. We haven't seen many of those today, have we?
Well, New England is the least penalized team in the league when it comes to accepted penalties. At least coming into the game they were.
24 all season.
Holding, 99. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
So instead of 4th and goal at the 1, it's 1st and goal at the 1. Marcus Stroud ticketed.
You know, Stroud lined up at left defensive tackle. It's him right there. Was called on. He comes in. Russ Hochstein, 71, is trying to pull, and Stroud just grabbed him and yanked him to the ground. Wouldn't let him get through there to the linebacker, and the umpire in the back called that penalty. Now the question is, Dick, does Matt Castle, is he a pig and go for his second touchdown rushing, or does he let the young guy behind him have a touchdown?
Or does he maybe just take his time here? 3:18 to go, and Buffalo can't stop the clock, and you've got a first down and a 10-point lead. Well, Jarvis Green Ellis has certainly earned a score, but it's going to be Castle kind of wedging his way. Didn't seem to have a lot of heart in that effort to me.
Well, that's because he had an awful lot of those gray backsides where his offensive linemen were kind of stuffed back into his lap. He didn't have much space. They did a nice job, Henderson and company, inside of stuffing the inside of that run.
And the second enemy, if not the first enemy of Buffalo, is the clock anyway, and not scoring allows it to tick down again. By the way, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, along with 100 yards plus today, he scored a touchdown in each of the last 3 games. And there again, it's
I really think this is on purpose.
Oh yes, absolutely. First down, you could see there wasn't a lot of charge in the effort by Castle, and there he just kind of fell on his center's back.
Now we're going to the 2-minute warning.
And then will they really try to score on 4th and goal?
Here comes a run because Moss is off the field. It's all tight ends and Vrabel.
Well, it is a run. They wanted the kid to have a touchdown, and they give it to him. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, a day to remember for Mom Latonia in the yellow hat, or pink hat rather, as he completes a 105-yard rushing day with his 4th touchdown in 4 games. A new name and a good one, isn't it? Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. Lots of syllables, lots of hyphens.
And this is a running game that lost Lawrence Maroney. I mean, Sammy Morris is inactive. Lamont Jordan was inactive. Falk was used as mainly a receiver, and it was up to the young kid to carry the running game.
And the extra point added by Gostowski. And you'd think that maybe somebody scouting the preseason would have seen him and said, hey, don't let him get on the practice squad. We'll take him. Nice young man, too. Very polite. We enjoyed meeting him 2 days ago. Kick to Leotis McKelvin, a rookie from Troy. And he's got some room. Gostowski almost got him. Now one man to beat. Down to the 20 and finally pushed out of bounds by Jonathan Wilhite. So McKelvin, another good return. That'll be his longest. It was 56 prior to today, 85 on that one.
Watch him start out in the middle, and once he breaks, he makes a sharp break right there. Sideline, Gostkowski misses him, and then it's let's go see who's the fastest. Wilhite just gets there enough to force him out of bounds. That was an attempted tackle, let's say. Will be nice.
Well, it slowed him up enough so that Wilhite could get over and make the tackle down at the 14-yard line. Now Marshawn Lynch will be in the backfield with Edwards as the Bills try to get something more than that lonely field goal on the board here in the final 146. To the corner of the end zone, touchdown James Hardy. There's that Indiana former high school basketball All-America, played basketball at Indiana and then decided to stay with football at 6'6". He is able to outleap Delta O'Neal.
Go to the back shoulder. Delta O'Neal is running down the field thinking he's got a man. I've got him, got a guard into the end zone, and Edwards does a nice job of throwing it to the backside. So right here you get the extra point. Then this will be followed by a onside kick. And ideally, in Dick Duran's ideal world, they get the onside kick, they score again real quick, try another onside kick. I mean, it's not out of the question. You've seen it happen before, but now you know why it's so valuable to run on that timeout.
And that's really the glass half full. Extra point is good. Now
here's truly a hands team. They got Randy Moss, they got Wes Welker, you got a few linebackers like Bruschi and Mayo and Vrabel in there.
So no timeouts. It's desperate at best. You can't do much better than getting a long kickoff return.
I like this.
Look at this bunch formation. They kick it straight ahead, and does it go the full 10? I don't think it did. No, it did not.
No, it knocked off a New England Patriot.
Oh, then it is a live ball. And let's see what the officials sort out.
They say Buffalo's ball.
So it hit a Patriot, which made it a live ball, even though it did not advance 10 yards. Went off Teddy Bruschi, I believe, and it looks like Wilson has recovered another one.
Now see the jumble. Watch the Patriot players come up to try to hit and block. Well, Teddy Bruschi, I think the ball actually, as he was coming forward to block, it hit Bruschi's leg, and then one of the Patriots gets into the bottom right there and recovers the ball. One of the Bills did, rather.
Might have been Larry Izzo in there too, but nevertheless the Bills have executed apparently the onside kick, but there's still a big huddle by the officials.
Now it has to go 10 yards before it's touched by a Buffalo player,
right?
And that's got to be the question.
And now they've reversed the decision apparently.
Now the official must have said it didn't go 10 before a Buffalo player hit it.
Certainly it appeared that the New England player touched it first. And Bobby April certainly is arguing that point.
Now try it again. Remember, we're inside of 2 minutes, so if they need to, they'll look at it. It goes into a real jumble, and Bruschi gets a great block coming screaming through there, as does David Thomas. But from that rear end zone look we were looking at, that high end zone, it looked like the ball bounced off of Teddy Bruschi's leg.
Well, there's no review from upstairs. At least they're ready to mark the ball. Referee Walt Coleman.
Well, the closest bill to that ball was Corey McIntyre, the backup or the fullback. Belichick tell you the first time you tried to ask him about last week or 2 weeks, or it's all week to week, Dick. It's just what's going on this week, what's in front of us right now, and what's.
Buffalo has come to this stadium, Gillette Stadium, and have lost all 7. It'll be 10 in a row. New England has beaten Buffalo in 15 of the last 16. Well manicured victory by the New England Patriots. They're going to win it 20-10.